there, welcome back to my channel. Didn't know if that trigger warning wanted to come out or not. Well, we are back here, and welcome, as I like to say, to the horror show that is the Diddy trial. We are now doing week 3 wrap up, and we have now entered into part 5, which is the final part for the wrap up for week 3's testimonial and activities that took place in and outside of the courthouse, for that matter. So we are also going to now plug into some of the antics that happened on the outside. And so if you give me just a second here, we're going to go ahead and pull up one important person's photo here, because I think it's important to, see who we're talking about and when we can. So yeah, apparently there was some reporting of an altercation of some sort. There seems to be a combination of whether it was just verbally or also then went into physical, if it was both or just one or the other. So not really sure all the way just yet of all of the particulars, but it most certainly is being reported that there was some sense of altercation, some clashing of Gene Deal, which is a former bodyguard of Diddy, one who's been very much voicing a lot of examples of certain things from Diddy, his experiences of things that he's known of Diddy, and other individuals associated with Diddy as well, such as Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, and just other individuals. He also has a lot to say about Cassie and some of the allegations, Kid Cudi, you name it. He's been talking for quite some time. There has been a lot of information that he's been sharing over the course of the last couple of years, for sure, under my understanding, but I think he has been talking for quite some time. A lot of people have shared over the years. He is a former bodyguard of Diddy's, and he basically his tenure stopped sometime, I guess, early 2000s or so. We may get into that in the sharing here, but yeah, it's a lot going on. Tensions are high, feelings are high. People feel on both sides of the situation, and there's just a lot of interaction happening with individuals outside of the courtroom as well. Because as most high vis and high trafficked court cases such as this, as this is like really a court case that has been dubbed very often. I have myself too dubbed it like a century trial of the century type of situation. So there's a lot of fanfare. There's a lot of testimony going in and out. There's a lot of people that are going in and out as well. So it doesn't surprise me that there would be some type of altercation or things being said outside, of course, tensions running high. And, but what did surprise me is that, well, someone potentially who has a lot of information to offer and has offered a lot about Diddy and the inner workings and inside man, if you will, that himself fall into a situation of having a potential altercation with a YouTuber, no doubt. So yeah, not only is, of course, mainstream media is covering, we also have, lots of YouTubers that are covering this case as well. And some that are really, putting in the work of the details and the nitty gritty of what's going on day by day, minute by minute, for that type of coverage. Of course, here with these parts here, I like to give a bit of an overview and a high vis area as to what's been going on over the week, kind of a rundown of things that have been considered key moments and some specifics that are taking place. So it's nice to have, I feel like, a balance of both, and that you can, come for either or. And if there's things and details that you've missed over the week, then hopefully these videos here and these broken down parts of these weekly wrap-ups will help in providing that information for you. So appreciative of you being here. Really do appreciate you taking the time to view, share your thoughts and all that good stuff down in the comment section below. We also know that, of course, it's a sensitive nature, so any of the information that you share, being respectful of others and their thoughts and their experiences, I so do appreciate that so very much. So as we wrap up, part 5 here, wrap up for the week 3, I thought it was fitting to find out what was going on with the boogie down out there in those New York streets outside of the courthouse. It appears that apparently because of the altercation that took place, that Gene Deal's been asked to, restrain from coming to the trial for at least a few days. I guess he needs a cooling off period. And at this point, it doesn't seem like there's been any arrests taking place or any charges being brought to either one of the situations. So I guess we'll just have to see how this goes, but I guess that's one way of New York justice is just go ahead and cool off a little bit and then come on back when you calm down. But yeah, like I said, it's very hard charging. I'm pretty sure with Gene Deal and the amount of information he's provided and shared over the years, and very much so over the last couple of years, he's got his critics as well as he has his fans. He probably hears quite often, well, you knew all these kinds of things about Diddy back then. Did you bother to tell anybody? Did you report anything? And I'm sure that Deal has addressed those types of questions quite often in the videos that he actually, shares, and the interviews that he's been on as well. There's a lot to be said about the things that took place that have been alleged against Diddy, but also that of the inner workings of what is looking to be more enterprisal, which does lay into the RICO aspect of it, that the prosecutors are definitely trying to lock in and get that clearing for the jurors to understand the gravity and the depths of which the allegations and charges, of course, have really met the moment in those charges for this federal case here. So it is, probably nothing that Gene Deal is not used to being able to hear criticism of himself and maybe others that might have been, associated with, or, why are you saying something now when you could have said something before? Maybe some of the things that you could have shared before could have prevented certain things that we've seen now or over the years subset. But, everybody does have free will in that. And so I guess we have to see. We're seeing such a long leg of really control elements in regards to the situation. And so I think as weeks go on, we may potentially get more testimony in regards to those said things, answering those questions about why people didn't say anything. Was it that they were put in positions where they couldn't say anything? Were they fear of their lives, allegedly? What was the reason why people, and so many people, saw so many things go on for so long without saying anything? Or was it that some people did say things and it fell on deaf ears? I mean, there's a combination of it all. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to talk and pretty much dissect this case and many that are like these from years and years to come. There's so much to be learned and accepted in the world of empathy and the world of understanding abuse, how it shows up in different forms, how it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be all these different things. It can have many assets and aspects to the situation that comes to what abuse is and people's experiences and how people may react to abuse. So this person may not act the same or react the same to abuse as this person would, or this type of abuse. So yeah, it's a lot to be said about this case. It touches on so many different things. Of course, all things are alleged. Diddy has definitely made his point to say that he is not guilty of these charges that are against him. So it'll be interesting to see how week to week these things play out. I'm going to be here for it, watching as much as you would be too. And of course, I will continue to keep bringing those weekly wrap-ups as well to you, all the way until we get that verdict, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into what seemed to be the brawl that was or wasn't that took place outside the courtroom by former bodyguard Sean Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Love, aka Diddy, so forth and so on. His former bodyguard, and see what took place. Let's see what we can find out what went on outside those courtroom steps. All right, so this sharing comes to us by way of dailymail.com, and there's a lot of areas that are providing a report on this as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. It shares that Sean Diddy Combs, former bodyguard, had an intense confrontation with fans outside the New York City courthouse about his alleged involvement in the freak-offs. Now, Gene Deal, who protected the disgraced rapper throughout the 1990s, was seen being bombarded by several people on Tuesday, day 10 of the blockbuster trial. Now, despite explosive testimonies playing out inside the federal courtroom, events outside quickly got heated after Deal was asked about the DRUG and S-Fuel freak-offs Diddy is accused of orchestrating for several years. Now, while he appeared to enter the courthouse, Gene stopped in his tracks as a man off camera shouted at him, "Hey, G, I talked to Randy Pittman last night, a white guy who said in 2004 you was at a party with P. Diddy and you held him down with 2 minor kids." Oh, so that's another accusation there, right? He says, "I did an interview with him on my YouTube last night. What do you have to say about that, Gene?" He added in the video posted on TikTok. Now, Gene seemingly looked toward the man as he shouted accusations at him while a woman got close to him and shoved a phone in his face, and a man snapped pictures of him with the camera. He said you was at a Puff party. You gave him e-pills and you had held 2 minors down as well as him, Gene. I interviewed him on my YouTube, the man continued. He filed a lawsuit. He added as another man kept repeating the word allegedly. Now, Gene then appeared to look towards the yelling man and said, I'll speak to you when you get inside. You coming back in, right? All right, I'll see you when you get inside, Gene said as he entered the building. Now, this was reportedly not the first dramatic interaction Bill had outside the courthouse, as he allegedly got physical with the person harassing him at the trial, according to the Art of Dialogue. Now, Gene was told not to return to the Diddy trial for a few days following the outburst per the outlet. A video posted by the outlet appeared to show Gene going back and forth in a heated exchange with the man. You're not going to tell me what to do, the man told Gene as the bodyguard turned toward him. You can't come up on me. If you come up on me, I'm going to knock you the F out, Gene yelled back. Now, Gene then continued walking ahead as a woman started screaming at the other man. There is actually some video coverage about this as well that's been floating and circulating around on X, formerly Twitter. Might find its way on Instagram at some point too. So if you checked it out, you'll see exactly how it played out. Now, Diddy's former bodyguard is one of the many big names who have been vocal about the allegations against the music mogul. The 55-year-old's staggering downfall began when his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, filed a bombshell lawsuit in 2023, detailing the horrific claims of sexual abuse and violence at the hands of her ex-partner. Now, the lawsuit was settled for $20 million just a day after it was filed, but it was too late for Diddy's reputation, as the rapper was hit with dozens of lawsuits detailing similar claims. And of course, as we have seen this trial going on right now, there's still the matter of all the other civil lawsuits running around as well. Now, Diddy denies all allegations against him. His lawyers admit he's a woman beater, although he does not face domestic abuse charges, but that he is not guilty of trafficking or racketeering. Now, in a recent interview with the Art of Dialogue, Deal said he believes the pressure from hearing hours of testimony about his dirty deeds with Cassie will break Diddy. He can't take sitting right there and hearing all this dirty deeds with Cassie, he claimed. He's hearing all of his deeds in front of him, and he ain't high, he ain't drunk, and he got a break, bruh. I'm telling you. He'll end up asking his defense team to see if y'all can still get me that deal, he continued. Yeah, you remember that there was apparently a deal on the table that Diddy basically had turned down. And if you recall, I had shared, I believe in week 1 of the wrap up there, that 50 Cent had his thoughts about it, as well as when he said that he heard all the testimony and the things that were alleged and put on the stand by Cassie, that he said, man, he should have, took that deal at this point. But Diddy stood firm and strong in the fact that he says, look, I'm not guilty of these charges. So yeah, we'll just have to see how that works out. But even Dean's thinking that, hey, he may crack. He may decide to see if he can get that deal later. I don't know how that works. I think typically once it's put out on the table, a lot of times that's it. But considering this, high volumed situation here and the likes of who this is about, I guess anything can go. Maybe there'll be a time where they could revisit that situation if they find it appropriate to do so. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts if you think that that's something that he may wish that he could have done when this is all said and done. From what I understand, I think the family is still going to the courtroom as well. I don't know if they're there for every single day of testimony, but it's been a lot of brutal testimony put out there, as you would have known from the other parts of this particular weekly wrap up and the previous weeks before as well. There's just been a lot to be said about the allegations and a lot of issues that have come across by many different individuals, whether they were corroborating previous witnesses or had their own allegations to share as well. Not to mention that, there's several lawsuits going on around the situation that are civil based as well. So there's a lot that Diddy's going to probably be dealing with, no matter what it is surrounding this situation, for many, 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 many years to come at this point. But yeah, Gene Deal basically said, I've had enough, and I stand all I can stand. I ain't gonna stand no more. He took matters into the verbal way, and apparently a physical altercation now apparently seems to have ensued as well. So no telling when Deal will pop back up on the scene, but I'm sure as soon as he is, everybody that's around that courthouse is going to make sure they'll be front and center to touch base with him and let us know that he is back in effect. So they said a few days. What is a few days? Don't know. Haven't come to a point of finding anything that said that he's to report back on this day or can come back on this particular day. Few days to me is usually 3, but we'll see how this all comes into play for Gene Deal. But he wasn't backing down to whatever the criticisms that he endured at that time. And I guess he's from the point, like, you say what you say about me, I did what I need to do, and I have my reasons for doing it the way that I did it. And many people would say the same thing. So it's not unlike a lot of the questions that some of the witnesses have been asked, outside of Cassie in particular, about things that you saw and things that you said that happened to you. Why didn't you report it? Why didn't you see it? Why didn't you say anything? Yada, 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 yada. So there's been a lot of that conversation, and I'm sure Deal is, no different. Now, where the Deal will actually take the stand for anything is going to be interesting. I don't know if that will ever necessarily take place, because he has done a lot of interviews and videos and such, talking and detailing about certain aspects and experiences with Diddy and things that he's supposed to be familiar with as well. So I don't know if he would be someone that would be a witness that they would want to necessarily have a stand for either side of the coin. But hey, we'll never know. We'll see how it all wraps up. So yeah, with that, I think I'm going to bid you adieu with this video. Now, pretty much brings to a conclusion to the weekly wrap up for week 3 as well. Definitely be leaving your thoughts down in the comment section below. And most certainly make sure you have your all notification bell on, because I'll be dropping more videos as well very soon. So I'm going to be wanting to know your thoughts about those, as I love to share mine. So make sure that you are, abreast on that, so that way you don't miss any of those uploads. And of course, as I've shared, part 1, 2, and 3, and now 4 has been uploaded. And now, as you see, 5, of course, is here as well. So the full gamut of all of the parts for the week 3 wrap up of Diddy's trial, testimony, and all that good stuff, shenanigans in and outside the courtroom, are now been shared as well for you, so that way you can take a look-see at those videos and get whatever information that you are interested in getting in. And also, allows you to be prepared and ready to go for week 4, which will be commencing tomorrow. So yeah, and of course, this is June 1st, so happy June to everybody. I'm hoping that this summer, well, let's face it, the summer is it'll probably be a lot more of the same that we've been dealing with. So, but just, prayers to everybody, and peace be on you, because we can use a lot of peace right now. But at the end of the day, we'll see how things shape up. Of course, with this case, we'll see how things shape up with any more witnesses. I am pretty curious to see who week 4 is going to be, presenting, because I haven't really heard a lot. We've heard a lot about the people that were going to be coming this week and last week and the first week, because Cassie, of course, started off the first week with Bodyguard and other individuals. Week 4, not so much. So we'll see what happens. Although I do believe that Mia will probably be coming back, the ex-assistant who goes by the studio Mia, that I believe she's supposed to be coming back on Monday as well. So we probably will see some additional testimony for her, which probably come in the form of cross and recross maybe at this point. And then we'll see how things unfold. It does seem to be somewhat anticipated that's going to take place. So yeah, we will be here for it. I'll be here for it, and I'll be sharing it in the next weekly of what takes place for week 4. So with that, thank you again for being here. I appreciate you so very much. If you are new here and you haven't had a chance to hit the subscribe button, I hope that you will and be part of the family. I would so love to have you. And of course, for all of you that are already part of the family, I thank you so very much for your continued viewing and listening support. It means the world to me. It really, truly does. And so with that, I thank you again. I'm going to bid you take care, be blessed, and until next time, bye.